Okay, so let's do a fight recap, okay? UFC 264. Oh my god, like where do I even begin? Well, I suppose we could start with the first fight in the main card, right? Sean O'Malley was in there against Chris. I don't know how to say his last name. I'm not really going to try. For the most part, everyone expected this fight to go one way, and that is with Sean O'Malley essentially dominating the whole entire fight. That is exactly what happened, but I think the most surprising thing in this fight was Chris's ability to take damage. His ability to constantly walk forward and just take those shots over and over again. I mean, there was a clear skill difference between the two of them, but like generally speaking, when you hit a man as many times as Sean O'Malley hit this dude, they're supposed to fall. They're supposed to fall. The fight's supposed to be over, but that's not what happened. And what that literally shows me is that if this dude, if Chris can get his fight skill up to match his toughness and his durability, he would be a huge problem. He really would be a huge problem. And for his UFC debut, the very first time we've seen him in the octagon, to be in there against Sean O'Malley, I mean, that was a huge mountain to try to climb. And I think even in getting beat down like he did, I think he made a very good account of himself. Of course, that fight ended. The referee ended the fight, and a lot of people are not, or some people were not happy with the stoppage. And to me, the way that I talked about this on stream is that, like, if you had a guy on the ground, like if you were watching two fighters compete, one fighter is on top, the other fighter is on the bottom. Let's just say that fighter A is in top mount, fighter B is in bottom mount. Fighter A is able to consistently land shots, and fighter B is not blocking. Even if fighter B is not going out, even if he still has his consciousness, even if he's not getting knocked out on unconscious, you're still gonna stop that fight because he's not intelligently defending himself, right? Like, the ability to intelligently defend yourself, of course, is you're actually making attempts to stop a strike from landing. You're blocking properly, you're moving your head out the way, you're using your footwork to get out the way so the shots are not landing, right? That's intelligently defending yourself. But Chris was not doing that. He was just walking forward like a zombie, getting peppered with shots over and over and over again. And Herb Dean stopped the fight. He stopped the fight exactly how he should have stopped the fight. I thought it was a very good stoppage, and Sean O'Malley ends up winning that one. Hopefully, the next time that we see Sean, it's going to be against someone that's more on his level. You know, someone that is a little bit higher ranked, so that we can actually see this man get pushed. You know what I mean? Because right now, so far, he has outmatched everyone that he's fought skill wise except Cheeto Vera. But even with that fight, you could make an argument that it was like a weird injury that led to the finish. You know what I mean? So that one happens. Jana Kunitskaya versus Irene Aldana. I think I said that name correctly. I'm not sure, but I think I said that name correctly. That was a really good fight as well. Really, really solid fight. Um, the fight ended in round number one by TKO. Really not much to say about that fight, except, I mean, those two women looked pretty goddamn massive in there. And Aldana came out on top. She did a really, really, really good job. Jana was very aggressive. She was super, super aggressive with that fight, but it just did not work out for her. The one that really, really shocked me, besides the main event, is the heavyweight fight. Tai Tuivasa versus Greg Hardy. Tai Tuivasa versus Greg Hardy was a crazy fight. It was an absolutely insane freaking fight. Fight starts off leg kicks. Tuivasa is landing beautiful calf kicks on Greg Hardy, both the lead leg kick and the rear leg kick. And Greg was trying to counter him with the cross as those leg kicks come in. And at one point, Greg was able to hurt him. I believe Greg was able to catch him with a cross. He hit him with a cross, which wobbled Tai Tuivasa. And this is where it gets crazy. This fight reminded me so much of Francis Ngannou versus Stipe Miocic, because Greg Hardy hurts Tai Tuivasa. Tai Tuivasa is wobbly on the legs. Greg Hardy gets overzealous, launches himself into a flurry of combinations. Tai Tuivasa catches him with a short left hook, floors him, and the fight is over. Very similar to what happened with Stipe Miocic. Francis Ngannou was trying to get in. Stipe is able to land a beautiful cross counter. Ngannou wobbles back a little bit. Stipe thinks, oh my God, he's hurt. This is my chance to go finish the fight. Stipe tries to go in. Ngannou meets him with a check hook, a left hook, knocks Stipe out cold. So these heavyweights, man, every single time you see exchanges like these happen with these big, powerful men, it's only a matter of time before one of them goes down. And as I was watching that fight, I was like, yeah, someone is getting KO'd in this fight. Someone's getting stopped in this fight. And that's exactly what happened. Really, really solid fight. Up until this point, the main card was looking really, really, really good. And then, of course, we had Gilbert Burns. Gilbert Burns versus Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, which the fight for the most part was going as expected. Of course, on one hand, Wonderboy has the advantage on the feet striking. Gilbert Burns has the advantage on the ground. And I talked about this quite a bit because I don't think a lot of people understand just the level of jiu-jitsu that Gilbert Burns has. Gilbert Burns is one of the few men to actually get a win over Lucas Lepri. Lucas Lepri is pound for pound one of the best jiu-jitsu fighters ever, period. And Gilbert Burns is one of the few guys to actually beat him. Not just beat him one time, he was able to beat him twice. Gilbert, and just recently, he is still competing in jiu-jitsu competitions against extremely high-level black belts, and he's beaten them. So in the world of jiu-jitsu, they know him as Durinho. He is well known in the world of jiu-jitsu as being extremely high level. So Stephen Wonderboy Thompson was going up against a man that if the fight was to hit the ground, he is so outmatched on the ground versus Gilbert. It's unfathomable just how unmatched he is. Now, of course, in mixed martial arts, when you have the cage to deal with and you have strikes to deal with, jiu-jitsu does change a little bit. You know what I mean? Jiu-jitsu fighters are a lot more deadly, a lot more dangerous. They don't have to worry about you using the cage to stand back up to your feet. If they have a gi on, even if it's no gi, they're not worried about strikes, of course, they can relax and play that jiu-jitsu game. So when Gilbert was able to get Stephen Thompson down, Wonderboy, of course, being a seasoned fighter, understood that he could just get his back against the cage, use the cage to wall walk, and stand back up to his feet. And that's exactly what Wonderboy was able to do in the first round. In the first round as well, he was able to do that a little bit, but then Gilbert Burns was able to take him down. He was able to take him down and pretty much won that first round by holding him down. Round number two, I believe in round number two, Stephen Thompson won the round because Stephen was able to outstrike him. He was able to deny those takedowns. He was able to keep Gilbert Burns at range, kicking range. He was able to use pinpoint accurate jabs, some beautiful leg kicks, defended takedowns really well. But in round number three, Gilbert Burns was able to replicate what he did in round number one. He was able to take down Stephen Wonderboy Thompson close to the end of the round. At one point, he was even able to mount him. He was able to mount him, and he ended the round in a very dominant position on top, just pounding away at Wonderboy. Now, some of those shots at the end of that round went to the back of the head, which is, of course, not good. And it felt deliberate because he was like holding the back of his head while he was hitting him. It just wasn't a good look for Gilbert Burns. But regardless, solid fight. Both of them tried to do exactly what they should do to win the fight. Wonderboy striking, Gilbert Burns getting the fight to the ground. The better man ended up winning the fight. Great job. Now, of course, the main reason we are here, the main event, Conor McGregor versus Dustin Poirier. God damn, man. This fight it's a tough one because, well, for one, I'm a fan of Conor. You know what I mean? I'm a fan of Conor, and watching him lose, it's watching a fighter that you're a fan of, watching him lose, it's never a fun thing to see. You know what I mean? But I think So let's talk about the fight for a second. The fight starts off, well, before the fight, the biggest narrative is, how is Conor going to deal with the leg kicks? How is he going to deal with the leg kicks? Well, I said all the time, and I've said it again, the best way to deal with a leg kicker is to kick them back. You see that in traditional Muay Thai, in kickboxing fights. You don't generally see one person just taking leg kicks. That's not how it works. You kick me in the legs, I'm going to kick you right back. And as you do that, you both end up developing extremely high level leg kicking skills. Like go watch some of Israel Adesanya's kickboxing matches. It's a leg kick fest. Leg kicks over and over again. That's what most of K1 and Muay Thai is. It's leg kicks over and over and over and over again. That's generally the way you deal with that. Of course, you deal with that by also checking the kick, sliding out the way. But there's nothing better than also kicking your opponent, because if you're kicking your opponent, you have them also worrying about your own leg kick, and they're not kicking you when they're checking your own kick. You know what I mean? A good offense is your best defense. So I figured that Conor McGregor and his team were going to implement leg kicks in this fight. I mean, we all pretty much knew that would happen. And when the fight started off, Conor started off the fight exactly how he started off the very first fight that they had. They turned inside kicks. He threw it twice and then started firing off leg kicks against Dustin Poirier. Really, really nice leg kicks. Digging into the thigh. Doing a really good job with those leg kicks. Dustin was also very he was very calm, dealing with those. Like, you look at Dustin Poirier and what you see is just a man who's very, very seasoned in there, man. A man who's just been fighting for such a long time, who's been in there with everybody. He's seen all kinds of different styles. It's just a guy that that's a man that has reached his full potential in there. That's essentially what you see with Dustin. So he was super calm as Conor was like attacking him. Conor was able to land some beautiful shots in the first round. A beautiful cross, which Dustin himself admitted wobbled him, buzzed him a little bit. And then at some point in that first round, I'm not sure exactly, because I got to watch all this again. I'm just shooting from what I remember. At some point in that first round, I don't remember exactly what led to the exchange, but Dustin actually hurt him a little bit in that first round. I think Dustin Poirier was able to hit him with a cross. I think it was a cross off of a leg kick. He hit Conor. Conor started to back up a little bit. Dustin, I mean, when Dustin Poirier has you hurt, the flurries come. When he hurts you, it's one of the scariest things in the world to get hurt by Dustin Poirier, because that is when a million punches will start coming at you. So Conor did the right thing that he should do, which is, boom, clinch up. Kind of ironic, of course, coming from Conor, especially considering the fact that, he talked about the first one to shoot is a dusty bitch. And, I mean, he didn't shoot a takedown, but he's the first one to grab, right? He was the first one to try to lock in and hold. And that's what happened. He locked in, grabbed a hold of Dustin Poirier. Dustin Poirier, they made their way to the cage. And then right there against the cage, Conor McGregor jumps a guillotine. He locks in a guillotine and tries to actually submit Dustin Poirier. For a moment, it looked really tight. But then again, you're dealing with, Conor, a brown belt in jiu-jitsu. Dustin Poirier, a black belt in jiu-jitsu. So in that sense, Dustin is better. So he was able to fairly easily get out of the guillotine, and then the barrage of ground and pound ensues. I mean, it was brutal, man. It really was brutal. Like watching that, the viciousness of that ground and pound. It looked so much more dangerous than what Khabib was doing to Conor. It really did. Because in that first round, in that short time that Dustin had Conor on the ground, he probably busted his eardrum, because Conor was bleeding out of his ear. He was bleeding out of his left ear, and that's probably like a ruptured eardrum. He was bleeding out of his mouth as well. He was doing a good job of He was doing a good job of using his frames to kind of keep Dustin Poirier. He was breaking his posture from time to time, but of course, they're sweaty. Dustin is able to posture up and land ground and pound. For the most part, Conor did a decent job of keeping himself safe on the ground. Like you could tell, he had some skill down there as well, but he was outmatched right there. He wasn't able to get back up to his feet. He wasn't really able to do much with the cage either to get back up to his feet. And it also started to look like he was getting tired, mentally tired as well, because he's like, oh god damn, like I'm underneath this dude. He's freaking blasting me away, like memories of what Khabib was able to do to him. You know what I mean? Just a lot of shit must have been going through his mind, and so, in round number one, like 5, when the round was almost over, they're able to make their way back up to their feet. They exchange. I don't know what. I think either Dustin Poirier let him up. I think Dustin let him up, or the referee stood them back up for some reason. They both throw a jab cross. They both whiff as Conor is about to step back, which a lot of you pointed out in the stream that it's a very possible the reason why he lost his balance right there was because of the ruptured eardrum, because that really does fuck with your balance. Conor, they both whiff the cross. Conor tries to step back, steps wrong on the leg, on his leg, and that shit breaks, bro. Completely fucking breaks. I saw the break happen immediately. I was like, what the fuck, dude? His leg is broken. Like, I thought maybe I didn't realize it, like, that it broke because he stepped on it. What I saw as he was falling that his ankle was like dangling. I was like, his leg is broken. What the fuck happened? Like, in my mind, I was like, maybe during that exchange, maybe Conor tried to kick Dustin Poirier and Dustin checked it in that moment, and that's what happened. Like, I don't know what exactly happened right there, but in the replay, you see it. He throws the shot, steps wrong, leg freaking snaps. Of course, Conor falls to his back. Dustin Poirier gets on top. Conor is pointing, my leg is broken. Dustin lands a little bit of ground and pound. The referee stops the fight, and that's it. And the fight is over. And what I can say about that is, like, as a fan of Conor, of course, I don't like seeing him lose. Like, no, I don't like seeing any of my favorites lose. Do you like seeing your favorites lose? Like, if you have a favorite fighter, no, you don't like seeing them lose. But I think any one of us, like, it's so much, in my opinion, this is for me, like, it's so much better when there's closure. You know what I mean? Like, if your favorite goes out there, let's take Junior Dos Santos, for example. When JDS was fighting Cain Velasquez, the second fight was brutal. It was so hard to watch. It really was. And I still kind of held out hope that maybe JDS will be able to do something against Cain. There was talks of JDS being overtrained. Let's see. I was like, man, okay, maybe he can make something happen in this third fight. Maybe. Third fight, he gets beat even worse by Cain. Finished. It sucked. Hated watching that. But there was closure. You go, okay, he's better. Cain's better. It just is, because you clearly see that closure. But just think about, like, if you're an Anderson Silva fan, like, how you felt when Anderson Silva lost that second fight to Weidman. Like, there was something in the back of your head that goes, okay, yes, Chris Weidman was definitely winning the second fight. He could have definitely went on to absolutely win the fight. But goddamn, bro, really? This is how it ends? Your freaking leg, your leg gets broken? Like, there's a suspense thing about that. Like, there's not quite that closure that you need. And that's how I feel with this fight. It's like, yes, Dustin Poirier was winning that first round 100%. You're not going to hear me argue that at all. But do I want to see what Conor would have been able to do in round number 2? God, hell yeah. I would have loved to see, okay, how tired is Conor, for one? When he goes back to his corner after round number 1 and they get the bleeding under control, what kind of advice is he going to get? How is he going to come out in round number 2? Like, what is it going to look like? You know what I mean? But to have it end like that, man, it's like, yes, you could say Poirier is the better fighter. He just won twice. You could say that. But you could also argue that you know what I mean? Am I making sense here? Like, am I making any sense whatsoever? Now, people are talking about a fourth fight. I'll tell you this right now. I don't want to see a fourth fight between these two. I think it's done. It's done. Dustin has beat him twice. Conor needs to move on. I think he needs to move on. As someone who's a fan, I think it's very important that he kind of remembers why he started this thing in the first place, why he got into fighting. You know what I mean? It's like you hear fighters talk about, I love fighting. I love fighting. Man, nobody likes getting punched in the face, bro. And if you do, something's wrong with you for real. And I think Conor needs to remember why he started this thing. You started this thing to provide for your family, to give your children a much better life than you had growing up, to make sure that you have generational wealth, that your children's children will be taken care of. You've done that. You're the man. You've taken care of your family, man. Your lineage is good. They're set. That's the whole entire reason he got into this thing. Right now, if he keeps fighting, it's going to be for all the wrong reasons. It really will be. What are the wrong reasons? Hatred, ego, delusion. You know what I mean? Like, because at the end right there, it just sounds like he and Dustin, like they've gone to this place where it's actual hatred now. And I did not see that coming, man. Honestly speaking, like I thought that at the end of this thing that they were going to like kind of squash this. That's really what I thought. But like Conor is making, I'm gonna kill you, I'm gonna blow your brains out signs to him. He's talking about, he's insulting, talking about Jolie after the fight. It's like, bro, like that's what I mean. Like now you're fighting for the wrong reasons. You know what I mean? Like now we're starting to get into dangerous territory. Conor was saying this is not over. If we gotta take this outside, like bro, like what are we like? We're not. What do you like? You've outgrown that thug nonsense. You've outgrown that. I don't think this is a competition. You know what I mean? It's a contest. It's a bout. That's what Conor always says. He always says bout, a contest. That's what it is. It's a competition. You've lost twice. Just move on, bro. Just move on. What's going to happen next is Dustin Poirier is going to fight the champion. He's going to fight Charles Oliveira. He's most likely going to win that fight. So it's very possible that we are looking at the next lightweight champion of the world. And you know what, man? God damn it, Dustin Poirier deserves it. Because, I mean, it's just a bitter pill to swallow, man. Because, like, he carried himself with such class throughout this whole entire thing. And he got the last laugh. And how about the fact that Conor said he was going to send out Dustin on a stretcher? And he's the one that left the octagon on a stretcher. How about that, bro? How about that for karma, dude? How about that for eating your words, bro? Just freaking crazy. Anyways, that is it. This is where I'm going to end this one. Just a weird night, bro. A weird night. Two fighters I was happy Sean O'Malley won, but I really wanted Stephen Thompson to get this done. He didn't, which was a bummer, man. It was a huge bummer. I'm such a huge fan of Stephen Thompson. And I wanted Conor to get it done. Of course, not only did he not get it done, the worst way the fight could have ended happened. He freaking broke his leg, man. It's just... Anyways, we are going to leave it at that. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know in the comment section what you guys thought about the fights. Did you enjoy them? What do you think is going to happen next with Conor? Do you think he's going to come back? Do you even want to see him come back? Because I sure as hell don't. I think he should be done with this. And yeah, we'll go with that. Thank you so much for watching. You guys are amazing. Thank you to everyone that showed up and hung out with me on stream. I really appreciate it. And I will definitely see you guys later with a brand new one. By the way, if you guys like this shirt right here, this is my Kamaru Usman painting on a t-shirt. If you guys like this and you want to pick it up, If you look below on my channel, you're definitely going to see a link. You can go pick up these t-shirts. That's a way to support the channel a little bit more if you want to do that. But if not, that's fine. You guys already do enough supporting. So thank you. Really appreciate that. But yeah, I'm going to get out of here. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys tomorrow with a brand new video. As always, stay safe. Peace out.